there and welcome back to another My Hero Academia video. Man, I didn't expect to be making another one of these for a while. Still a bit of a stretch until the release of the next season, and I gotta say, I have missed the show so much. And I'm certainly not ready for it to start winding down with its final arcs, because yeah, it's just such a good show, such a good manga. But I guess all things must end eventually, and you wouldn't want it to become too drawn out or anything like that. But yeah, to whet our appetite, we've gotten one of those OVA releases. And well, they're pretty much little fun filler episodes that have no impact on anything, but are pretty fun to watch nonetheless. Just a good time all around. Like, look at what we've had previously. Some of the work studies arcs that we looked at in more detail. We had the baseball game, which was a banger of an episode, that actually showed off some of the more minor characters that we don't usually see. Plus, we had the Endeavour Agency take on Mr. Smiley in one of the funniest episodes of the show. Period. Just period in general. Love me some Mr. Smiley. And so, we have yet another one of those episodes that's been released. This time called UA Heroes Battle. And I'll be honest, when I heard that, I was pretty hyped up. Like, I don't know the plot of the episode, but I kind of assumed I was going to be seeing some legit action here, some fights, not a card game, but it is what it is. I still enjoyed it myself, but I couldn't help but feel a little bit disappointed, if you get me. Yeah, it's my own fault and all that, but still, would have been nice to have some epic battles. Yes, I'm being greedy, and no, I'm not sorry about that. Anyway, with all that being said, let's jump into the episode, shall we? And so, we start off the episode with a little bit of narration by Deku, and that just really serves to set the scene of what's going on. We're back in the winter break that we saw featured in like season 5, I think. So it's a pretty big jump back in terms of episode count, although since the timeline is mega condensed across all the seasons, we haven't actually gone that far back in time, just a few weeks or months. Anyway, all of Class 1A sort of stuck in the dorms, unable to leave due to the danger that the world's been in, with the heroes needing to be the ones who individually escort them home so that they don't get murdered by some psycho villain. And you know what, that feels fair enough. Okay, so in terms of actual dialogue and storyline, we see that Kirishima and Mineta, our dynamic duo of creepers, slackers, and in Mineta's case, a definitive future sex pest, are struggling quite a lot with the monotony of being stuck inside doing nothing. And I feel that. Those teenage days where the weather's awful and there's nothing to do other than play card games or whatever. You've run out of things you want to watch, things you want to read. You've played video games till your wrist have ached, whatever, and you just hate life. Man, now that's nostalgic. Anyway, they keep complaining, and for some reason, they don't read the room and realize they're complaining to Ida and Momo, who are the two biggest teachers' pets around. And so of course they're going to be hardcore for the rules and respecting the wishes of the heroes, and so they slap them down with a good old-fashioned rant, which of course makes the lads cry and beg forgiveness. Really just a fun opening to the episode. Very silly, very goofy, but just fun. I love how the show can go from super hardcore violence with shattered limbs flopping in the wind, people getting disintegrated, blood flying everywhere, heroes getting straight up murdered and turned to dust, people getting attacked and having their blood drank by a crazy teen, whilst also having moments of extreme silliness like this. And yet, at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's out of place, like it doesn't fit, or anything like that. It just works. And then we hit the intro theme, and man, once again, nostalgia. And I mean, now we've hit the true last time that we're going to hear this intro theme, which, you know, every time they make a new one, I dislike it heavily at first, and then I come around to it being a banger. And that's exactly what happened with this one, and so I am very, very wistful that this is the true last time. But anyway, from there we're back into the episode. And the episode starts off with one of those huge class discussions where it seems like every single person is having the exact same conversation and listening in with everybody. And this is one of those things that I've seen in TV shows so many times that feels very strange. Like, I've been in many group settings, and usually there are multiple conversations all going on, and sometimes they're going to intersect as people move in and out of different discussions. But here, it's like a classroom where one person gets the talking stick at a time. And it doesn't bother me, but I do laugh when you see these sorts of things that only seem to happen on TV, at least in my experience. Regardless though, the main point of discussion here is the unfortunate cancellation of the UA New Year's party, which according to the students, and explained by Midoriya, is a massive banger. The students go to the shrine, and since teachers are there supervising, quirks are allowed, which means crazy superpowered minigames being played in front of an excited audience. Plus they have a massive banquet, and even some fan service for the pervs. And I can't help but think, we could have had this New Year's party as the OVA, with the fun mini games. Imagine Bakugo taking it far too seriously and trying to destroy Deku and Todoroki at the spinning top game, or something like that. Even better, when they all lose to somebody completely unexpected, causing a massive Bakugo meltdown. I mean, the card game, yeah, it's fun, but they teased me with something that could have been even better, and I'm a bit disappointed. Oh well. And speaking of fan service, Mirio enters hidden inside a snowman and then bursts out of it wearing his underpants. And he's looking absolutely shredded. Hulk Hogan, eat your heart out, brother. Seriously, somebody's been saying their prayers and eating their vitamins. The dude is absolutely jacked. What the hell? Isn't he a teenager? This is surely unhealthy. Somebody has got to get this man off the steroids before his heart explodes. I mean, I know all the boys, and most of the girls as well, are pretty jacked in general, but this is just absurd. This is like All Might Jr. And then he gives them a Yu-Gi-Oh style battle board complete with holograms where they can play a card game based on themselves. Which, if this releases to the public, do they get a cut of the sales? Because they're using them as the product. Is this where it's going to be revealed that the principal is actually a true capitalist who tricks these high schoolers into signing away their merchandising rights and ensuring that the school has creative control or gets a big cut of the profits? Does he own the students' image, their name, their costume designs? So many questions that have never occurred to me before. This is a hero factory after all, and it's made very clear that Hero Society has turned the industry into a true business. It's about your image, it's about the money. Colourful characters wearing costumes, screaming their move names out loud to try and get attention from the public. I mean, I doubt anyone's ever intended for the audience to question this, so there would be no answer, but Nezu, you're looking sus. Anyway, they turn on the system, and it has its own custom AI that seemingly knows that Ida's watching, as it trolls him hard by using his sports festival match with Hatsume to explain the rules. And yeah, this was legit funny. Ida is so underused in my opinion. I long for the days where he was one of the most featured characters in the story. Those early days, the Hero Killer Stain arc, that was hype. Loved it, felt so gritty and dark. Anyway, each player gets 3 cards, and it seems to be a best of 3 type of situation or a knockout type of situation. And we start off with Deku versus Ojiro. And this sequence where the class just all plays different rounds of the card games, it was funny, I enjoyed it. And it also just kind of shows off the power tiers within the class, their strengths, their weaknesses, which I found very clever. Just remind the audience who's great and who sucks. Sugar Man, the biggest jobber in the class. He gets destroyed by Jiro. Kaminari then destroys Jiro with an area attack, and he in turn, now an idiot, gets fully vaporized by Ayama, who also seems to be programmed to be an idiot because he fully kills him instead of pushing him out of bounds. And since he used his full power beam, his tummy hurts. And this allows the newly summoned Tailman to eliminate him easily, who in turn is defeated completely in one shot by Todoroki. Yeah, that seems about right. We then have a 3-on-3 battle. Ashido, Su, and Uraraka versus Mineta, Sero, and Tokoyami. Mineta, for some reason, thinks that giving the girls team a heap of advantages is the best idea. So he gets the 3 boys to take their own cards, announcing who they're going to play beforehand, whilst the girls can play with whoever they want. And of course, Mineta is also lusting after the holograms like a real weirdo. Before the girls start off by playing Mount Lady, who kills Sero. Like, actually straight up kills him. She stomps him to death. And then of course she has to leave the board as extra hero cards only last 1 round. So I think it's actually a knockout type of round, as in last man standing wins. So kind of feel like the one and done cards are actually wasteful to me. Unless it's for the final round, because they have to go away anyway. Oh well. Mineta then gets melted by Ashido, which, yeah, okay, sure. Guess this game's just Mortal Kombat of My Hero Academia, it seems. Has the AI forgotten you're not supposed to kill people when you're a hero? Very gruesome. And then Tokoyami tosses her out, before Su's Hagakure card eliminates Tokoyami by using lights to make Dark Shadow so scared that the AI gives up for him. Which, well, that's certainly a choice. Clean sweep, pretty much. Boys got wasted. And what do you know, it's all because Mineta was being a complete weirdo. He got what he deserved, I reckon. Kirishima then gets crushed by Momo in a 2-on-2 card match, before Sugarman gets blitzed by Hagakure when they do a repeat of the present Mike vs. Koda fight from the mid-semester test arc. Mike gets swarmed by bugs, and the AI gets so disturbed by this that it turns off the board. I mean, he doesn't even get knocked out of bounds, it just turns off. Guess he died of fear or something like that. Anyway, Kaminari, playing as Sero, is then destroyed by Jiro playing as Grand. the earthquake guy who doesn't even attend UA. Once again, how did the school get the rights to use this dude in the game? Nezu, where you at? And then finally, we come to the man himself. Bakugo walks in, annoyed at the noise, until he learns what's going on. And he discovers he can test himself against anybody and prove that he's the best. And of course, he challenges Deku. And I did enjoy that it was revealed that Kirishima and Kaminari had conspired against him to do this, all to make Bakugo upset. And so, of course, our two main characters do battle. Deku's card versus Bakugo's card. And they have a pretty epic battle, all things considered, which ends in a time limit draw. And along the way, both realize that the AI is not even up to date, as they're clearly both far stronger than they were in the game. So I think it was a little bit disappointing for them to not be able to see how they'd stack up against one another at this point. Same, to be honest. Kind of want to see them battle again. And so they enter sudden death, leading to Bakugo playing All Might, and Deku accidentally playing a little dog. And it once again ends in a draw, as All Might, being a nice person even in AI form, helps the dog to safety, prompting Bakugo to absolutely lose his shit. And honestly, I kind of get it. This would be the most annoying thing in any game ever, and he blows up the whole dorm building. Yeah, maybe a little bit of overkill though, but very funny. I mean, I love shit like this. There's nothing better than an animated comedy explosion, whether it's in anime, American style cartoons, or like old school stuff like Looney Tunes. It's always funny. And it's even better that you have that shot of Deku getting vaporized like he's in Dragon Ball Z, getting destroyed by an energy blast. But there he is, instead of screaming, just smiling, closed his eyes, thinking about how awesome All Might is. True, to be honest, All Might is the best. And then we have that final narration of how Aizawa banned them all from playing card games forever. That was just a chef's kiss ending for me. And so, yeah, that's the end of the episode and the end of the video. I really enjoyed it, but once again, I would have liked a little bit more action out of the episode, but that's just a me thing. I got my hopes up, like a fool. But anyway, with all that being said, these have just been my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the episode if you've seen it? Did you like it? You hate it? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.